That the goal of the two states seems so far away, while indignities like restrictions on movement and travel or the daily worry of your children's safety are real and they are immediate. So even if the ground is not ripe at this moment to restart negotiations, the United States and my administration will not give up on trying to bring the Palestinians and Israelis and both sides closer together.
Joe Biden says that he supports two states. He acknowledges that the fact that we haven't gotten there yet is absolutely horrendous for most Palestinian people, and yet the ground isn't ripe. And who is he to ripen the ground? He's merely the president of the United States, the leader of the free world. So it's not ripe. It's not here. Oh, also, although he says the Palestinian people deserve a state of their own that's independent, sovereign, viable, and contiguous, I know that the goal of a two-state solution is so far away, so far. And in the meantime, pressure points that could be pressed to try to get both parties to a solution or get them to negotiating will go unpressed. Joe Biden knows how to put pressure on people he disagrees with. Take a look at how he treats progressives. But when it comes to people that he would really like to continue working with, whether in the United States or abroad, the leadership of Israel, no, he's not. He identifies all of the things that are going so poorly, the pain, the suffering, the death. He's not going to do anything to change that, even if in doing so, he might make it more likely that some sort of negotiation could take place. The president of Palestine says that the recognition of the state of Palestine is urgent, and that specifically, and this gets into some of the things Biden was referencing, they have to press Israel to halt expansion of settlements and begin withdrawing from the West Bank. Those are very specific things that Biden could pressure on, but so far he has shown that he doesn't have the appetite.
John, you're not being fair. He also mentioned an Irish poem. So
he did read a poem. Yeah. He's apparently, he's been going to the same classes on politics as Nancy Pelosi has.
Yep. And I think that will soothe the Palestinian soul, so we're okay, we're problem solved. This is another easy one that I can solve for you guys right away. Is there anything Joe Biden can do? He says he's not even gonna try. He says, oh, it's not the right time. That the two-state solution is really far away. Why is it really far away? I could solve it tomorrow. Oh, come on, Cenk, you're a ridiculous braggart. You couldn't solve it tomorrow. Yeah, I could. Okay, Israel, we're not giving you any more aid, not $1 until you get 2 states. You got 2 states, we're happy to give aid to both of you. We're happy to give just as much aid to Israel. We're happy to give more aid to Israel, okay? But we like Israel, we want Israel to be safe and secure and all that. We also want the Palestinians to have a state and be safe and secure. I'm taking away all of the billions of dollars in funding until we get a peace deal. We'd get a peace deal within, let's be fair, 2 weeks, okay? Will Biden do that? Of course not. He doesn't want to, he's a coward. Let's be honest, he has tons and tons of donors that tell him not to do that. Okay, you're not allowed to say that. And there's good reason why people are concerned about that. There's a history of anti-Semitic tropes about people controlling leaders, etc. But no, it's the people that like Israel are one of thousands of lobbyists, right? They're not the only ones, they don't control everyone, that's not true. But are they among the lobbyists? Yeah, of course they are. Do they give a lot of money? Yes, they do. Does it affect politicians like Biden? Only about 100%. Just like we did in the last story about oil. The oil companies give money to Manchin and Biden and then do as they're told. So this is all about money, this is all about lobbyists, this is all about donors. And so Joe Biden just told the Palestinians, wait for a more convenient season. In other words, you don't donate enough to me or other Democrats. We're not gonna do a goddamn thing for you. So I'd like to quote an actual hero. That's Martin Luther King. Now I'm gonna put in the word African American for the word he uses here just to make sure I don't offend anyone, okay? But I'm gonna read you the quote directly otherwise. He said, I've almost reached the regrettable conclusion that the African American's greatest stumbling block in his stride towards freedom is not the white citizens counselor or the Ku Klux Klanner, but the white moderate who is more devoted to the order than to justice, who prefers a negative peace, which is the absence of tension, to a positive peace, which is the presence of justice, who constantly says, I agree with you in the goal you seek, but I cannot agree with your methods of direct action, who paternalistically believes he can set the timetable for another man's freedom, who lives by a mythical concept of time, and who constantly advises African Americans to wait for, quote, a more convenient season. Shallow understanding from people of goodwill is more frustrating than absolute misunderstanding from people of ill will. lukewarm acceptance is much more bewildering than outright rejection. He might as well have been describing Joe Biden about the Palestinians. Carolyn.
Yeah, and I mean, as we've alluded to, using his Irish heritage and the analogy of the English colonization of Ireland, something that like I care deeply about and was so excited to wake up and see that quote. That was the first thing I saw, was he was saying like, you know, as my Irish Catholic ancestors know, just using that, and then actually to see the, you know, bulk of his statement, which was like, oh, I get it, exactly the Dr. Martin Luther King quote of I get it, but am I the most powerful man in the world, and am I going to do anything about it? Absolutely not. I think, you know, that the struggles that Irish share with Palestinians, and it's very evident in Belfast and Derry, there's Palestinian flags everywhere. It's like a very, you know, almost sacred relationship between these two struggles, and to use that to your messaging agenda and then to just totally walk back any actual policy or any actual like attempt to ameliorate the conditions for the exact people you're saying that you care about is so disingenuous, and so it's offensive. And I think, you know, there's a lot of Americans of Irish descent, and we should be outraged that he would use our past, like, yeah, being colonized, our past struggle, and just A, throw it away, and B, use it as disingenuously as he is. Yeah, just wanted to point out that in 1980, Ireland became the first country in the EU to call for an independent Palestinian state. And that, like, this relationship is very deep and long-reaching. I encourage anyone to look more into it. But I can't even express how just disgusted I am with this language, and that he just continues to just really step into these issues that honestly, it would just be better if you just didn't say anything at all. Yeah. Like, stop using people's struggle to your own advantage and playing both sides. It's infuriating.
Yeah, and Palestinians, honestly, if I can give you one piece of advice, collect all of your money and bribe as many American politicians as you can. They will, that's the only thing they care about. And they don't care about religion. Oh, you know, that's why the anti-Semitic tropes make no sense at all. They take money from Christians, Muslims, they don't care at all, right? So if you bribe them more than the other side, you'll have a state within 2 weeks. All you gotta do is bribe American politicians. They're the most corrupt people on earth, which leads us perfectly to Saudi Arabia, okay? They're Muslim, they bribe Americans, they get everything they want. You see, they don't care about religion at all. It's just about the bribes. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, I really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.